topics are coming up, you know, and while fear is in the air, there's also, what about our brothers and sisters? What about our neighbors? You know, even though it's mingled with fear, right? Because that's kind of like where our consciousness is as a collective. It's like it takes fear, you know, something scary to make us go out of our complacency. Right? As long as all is well and your life is kind of flowing and all that, it's nice. I agree. It's nice to have that. But it's not necessarily what's needed for the planet to come back into harmony. Anyway, so I'm just bringing this up as a possible topic to contemplate, you know, add it to the mix. This is the intelligence of life. It's like, sorry, you guys don't get to stay asleep. You're contributing to a massive problem that's causing a lot of suffering, and we're all connected and we're all a part of it. And the inner work is needing to come out and join the outer work and start to have what you know to be true move. How does it move? What does it look like to care? We've been talking about it. Maybe your heart's been opening up. You're feeling more the connection, inner connection to others. Maybe it's time to make it move more, or more outwardly. Maybe it's time to really look at that protection of wanting to protect what's ours. This me mine thing that we've got going on, all of us. The personal self is really small. Hopefully we're like melting that. And what is the benefit of easing out the personal self sense is to include more, include others too. Would you agree? So it's time to bring that out in practice. What an opportunity. I don't know what it's going to look like for you in your life. But so yeah, we take care of me, mine, and then there's something that needs to let go, and maybe look around a little bit and say, I wonder what's happening with the people around me. What's happening to the people in my own community, maybe. And maybe you can just ask yourself and look inside, what is it that I can do to contribute to helping harmonize around my life and that around me, not just me, mine, but bring harmony. Yeah, I think they're just good questions. I'm not expecting a bunch of answers, or maybe even your own knowing of what you can do but maybe just to contemplate it more, When I think about the Native American reality of several hundred years ago, 300-400 years ago, when the Spanish, where I live in northern New Mexico, the Spanish came through about 450 years ago, the conquistadores, and they were looking for gold, and they didn't really find much, but they settled here, and the Native American people were here, right? And they had their own tribal issues going on. Um, but there was this big difference of cultural difference of how to view property and land. And then a few hundred years ago, or whenever it was, the white people came and brought even more, solidified the differences of me, mine, put up fences and imagined that the land belonged to them. And this didn't make sense to the Native American people. Like, how can you own land? This is the Great Mother. And you're gonna, try to tame it and own it and um, try to control it, extract resources from it, poison it, right? Just right here where I live. Taos Mountain, this beautiful mountain, belongs to the Native American. Good thing, because it's not built up. No signs on it, no buildings. Thank goodness, because if it was up to this, the greedy mentality of conquest and ownership and possession, it would be, totally destroyed. So, this is what's happened. Look at where we're at, even in where you live. Maybe contemplate for a moment where you live, what's happening, what happened over time, historically. And it's just a big thing to contemplate. And it's just obviously not sustainable. That's where we're at, right? And that's why the collapse is happening. It's just collapsing. Even if the economic world comes back and business is so-called usual, it's unsustainable, is what it is, right? And it's got to be faced. And I don't know how we're going to do it. So I think integrating all these realities is super important, super wise to do. Our being is big, large enough to be able to include it all. And meaning to include it consciously, it's already including it, it's already there. But to include it consciously so that it doesn't um, exhaust you like a tidal wave coming at you. It's already here in the space. All these truths that I'm speaking are here. Right? Reality is what it is. And interwoven within that is that which is all is well, good and free within it, and loves. It just loves and cares. So letting that suffuse everything and permeate this other, what we've created. What we've created, we can undo. So as you know, and then I'm going to open it up in a minute. As you know, I'm coming back, I'll go back to how wonderful it is to experience the great undoing that takes place within us, right? We can become quite masterful at that. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. And enjoy and get to a point where it's actually enjoyable, because it's so nice to find places inside that are confused and to bring understanding and shine a light of awareness and love there and go, oh, that's, there's something that's so much more true and it's kind. Okay. And that spiritual ability to whatever degree you've mastered it, is very valuable. Okay? And maybe you've been feeling, the aloneness of that, because it kind of makes one feel sort of, intimately alone within this undoing that goes on within, because it's between you and you, right? Maybe some people see the effects, which is nice, from people around you. And now it's time to bring that, turn that out more. And that's just, I guess, the invitation of these times. Just bring that out more, and like, I don't know how it's going to show itself, but that harmonizing that you've been doing within, it's time to shine that light and go, it's the work. Maybe I might not feel quite ready, but the baby bird doesn't really necessarily want to fly out of the nest. It kind of, maybe, I'm guessing, imagining, mother kind of goes, and the bird kind of flaps its way down. Oh, I was quite cozy here in this nest, growing and being fed by you. So that's what's happening. It's like mother has life, it's just an archetype is saying, now bring your ability to harmonize yourself within to what's happening without, because that's you too. That's you too. And as long, coming back to the bodhisattva vow, that is just kind of a lovely thread that until every sentient being is liberated, we ourselves are not. It's time to start viewing life outside of ourselves as within that way. Oh, you're suffering over there. Oh, you don't have enough canned food right now. Do you need a ride? Whatever it is. And to see that what's happening on the outside is a part of you. That's what oneness really reveals. Do you see what I'm getting at? It's time. Or we go down. We're part of the Titanic, and our fear takes us down. It's not just included and understood to be a part of the whole, but it actually overwhelms us to such a degree that we forget. We go into mass forgetting, and then we go into survival, and then we become more and more isolated and insular. And the opposite of letting go of the personal self and the limitations that has brought about, we dig a hole like an ostrich and pretend we can. But we can't. You can't go back.